So it's Danny Flexen here for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined by my good friend and always looks the part down here in Bournemouth, Johnny Nelson. Johnny, how you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. You wait till Saturday night. I was going to just dress like Don Johnson, but apparently it won't go down too well, so we'll see.
For the younger SecondsOut viewers out there, Don Johnson was the star of a 1980s TV series called Miami Vice. Johnny's often compared with him, you know, but especially when he was doing beach volleyball here in Bournemouth last year, spitting image. Johnny, what can we expect from Saturday night? From what we've been told, they're former friends, but not like really close, but shared a gym, shared many rounds. Does familiarity breed contempt?
Without a doubt, Danny. And I also think, so in my head, I'm thinking Shane. Why would Shane take a fight if he thought his fighter didn't have any chance at all? I've seen the comments that Shane is, he's not talking about the physical attributes and the sparring. He's talked about the mental side of it, saying that Lawrence hasn't got the confidence, you know, to fight a heavyweight. That's why he has to boil himself down to cruiserweight. So it sounds like Shane's trying to affect the mental confidence in the things he's saying, because he's not talking about the sparring. He's not talking about any of that stuff. That's what he's trying to do. So he understands this is a tough fight for his man. But in my head, I'm thinking, well, why would you put him in if you'd only put him in if you thought he had a real good chance of doing it. Now Chris has gone in there, and Chris is being a slow burner. But let's look at James Gale, George Groves. Now these two guys knew each other from the amateurs. James always kind of was top dog in the gym, always kind of had his number. But then when it came to fight, couldn't believe George Groves beat him. He couldn't get it. He thought he got robbed in the amateurs. Then he thought he got robbed in the pros. He couldn't believe it because he was always top dog in the gym. Now what's happened here with Lawrence and Chris, that's the same thing. Now, so Lawrence is thinking, no matter what you bring to me, it's not going to be enough because I've always had your number. So unless Chris thinks differently, it'll be the same thing, because Chris isn't hard to hit and Lawrence can hit. So I'm trying to figure out, unless Shane really believes that Chris has everything that he needs to win this fight, and it's got to be a career best performance from Chris, I don't think he'd put him in. On saying that, from a business point of view, of course common sense tells you it'd be better if Chris had won. Look where we are, we're in Bournemouth. Last time Chris boxed here, he boxed my friend Isaac Chamberlain. Even though I'm an Isaac supporter, in the back of my head I'm thinking, I kind of hope Isaac doesn't win because we'll be back in Bournemouth again. And he didn't, sorry Isaac. But what I'm saying is, for business, it would be better if Chris won. Of course it would be. But what would happen is Lawrence would put himself in that who needs him club. Because once he's in that position there, people only fight him because they have to fight him. He hits too hard, too big, too unorthodox of fights to deal with. So therefore you've got to be smart with how it works.
Heard the phone ringing there. Isaac obviously saw this live somehow. He's not happy, is he? How much of an advantage going into this is Shane McGuigan and his knowledge, deep knowledge of Okolie in the gym?
I don't actually think, as I said, Shane knows what he thinks he knows about Isaac's mental makeup. He also knows what Isaac's capable, Lawrence's mental makeup. He also knows what Lawrence is physically capable of. And you've just got to pick up at what he said, why he said it, and how he said it. So he knows he can't disrespect the physical success he's had in the gym with his fighter, but that's all he can work on, because that's where he thinks the weakness is. He's got to somehow rattle him. So he knows this is a tough fight for Chris, and he's got to try every trick possible to try and get his man a chance.
Now we've looked ahead to Saturday, a bit of a reflection on the weekend, if you don't mind. We saw on SkySports, of course, Devin Haney closely defeating Vasily Lomachenko on the scorecards.
I'm not having it. I didn't win it. Listen to me. And why are people just rolling with this? Yeah, it was a close. He didn't win. In my opinion, he didn't. Lomo did him. And actually, before the fight, I said I thought Haney would do him. And I looked at the fight and I'm thinking, so I could comfortably sway that side. He didn't win. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you looked at it. He didn't win that fight. Let's be honest. Say how it is. And to me, you know, when you see stuff like that, you think, come on, man. You're killing the game, man. Don't do stuff like that.
Incompetence or money talks or a bit of both? What's your view?
All of the above. All of the above. I just think, I'm not the best analyst in the world, but I'm amongst the best. I've done it. I've been there. And a lot of ex-fighters are looking at it the same as well. And you can easily be swayed by if a million people are saying one thing and say, okay, I'm not going with the trend. I'm not going with the wave. Lomo won that fight. You know, that's my opinion. That's just an opinion.
We also saw a wonderful victory for Chantel Cameron against the odds out in Ireland against Katie Taylor, so congratulations to her. Before asking about that though, I want to ask you about an altercation that took place at ringside beforehand between Conor, Benn and Kell, Brook, who you know well. Was it staged for the cameras like some people are saying, or is there a genuine beef there?
I thought that, if I'm honest with you, I know Conor and Kell were friends. I know we're associated. Conor's gone through a transformation of personality because of what's happened to him in his career. So we don't know what's been said or done. And even afterwards, this is why I think, even afterwards, when it'd be very easy for anybody talking about Conor to call him a drug cheat, to call him all the names in the sun. Kell didn't do that. Conor would respect. Kell respectful. I'm not buying it. Boys, you don't have to do that anyway. You know, people be interested in the fight anyway. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I just think it'd be interesting, but I've always said I don't want to see Kell fight again. You know, so if it's to get the dough up, if you get interested in money and interest there, it's there already, but I'm not having it.
And then getting to that main event, great victory for Chantel Cameron. Eddie Hearns indicated that Katie Taylor will likely exercise the rematch clause. Do you think that's a good idea? Because it was pretty conclusive by the end.
I do, because listen, I said it about 4 years ago. I thought Katie Taylor. I thought we've seen the best of Katie Taylor, but what she has left beats most fighters out there. I think for Katie Taylor to get the rematch, it's a fight that she could win. And so if there was going to be a fight, a top tier fight to happen again, that would be it. That would be the fight to do.
And I want to ask you, some news broke yesterday that there's discussions currently for Tyson Fury, most people's best heavyweight in the world, to defend his WBC title against Dempsey McKean. Unbeaten guy, Tony Sims stable, but not someone of a world level just yet, out in Australia. What do you make of that, especially coming on the heels of Fury-Usyk negotiations breaking down again?
Okay, so we saw Tyson Fury getting with Derek Chisora. Was that for the third time? Yeah, 3. So he got an outing, then he got paid. Tyson Fury is the best fighter in the world. He's proved that. So he wants to get out there and get a fight out there. It's a Tyson Fury show, and he's got to sell their opponent too. So if that fight does happen, that's all it is. It's a Tyson outing in preparation for this unspoken about fight in December in Saudi or whenever it is. That's all it would be. I think in reality, why would that fight be expected to be competitive? Even, you know, you're talking top tier. There are other fights out there for Tyson to take. Why? It's a Tyson Fury out and he wants a soft touch before that happens. I get it, I understand it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I think Tyson's the best fighter out there. I think he doesn't think that, especially with what's happened with the Usyk negotiations and that. I just don't get it.
Johnny, really appreciate the time. It's all starting to kick off here in Bournemouth. I know you want to be in the thick of it. That's what we want to see. Really appreciate it.